Everyone is you pushed out. What it is, what it isn't, that's what we're going to talk about today. Amanda here from createyourfuture.co. So it's been a while since we did one of these videos like this. So I'm going to talk a little bit about everyone is you pushed out, what it isn't and what it is. And yeah, with the intention that everyone's going to have a really good understanding of it by the time this video is done. So guys, you know what? If you're looking for some awesome jewelry, custom made, check out the link in the description below. We Wicked Creations can help you with that, as well as we offer coaching here. Link in the description below. Check out my amazing coaches. They all know what they're doing. They all get results. Yeah, so let's dive right into it because everyone is you pushed out. What does that mean? Well, first of all, let me start with what that doesn't mean, okay? It doesn't mean, okay, like I used to hear like everyone's a mirror, and I used to think, oh, okay, so if everyone's a mirror, that means like, let's say for instance, if Jerry doesn't love himself, then I don't love myself because he's mirroring back what is missing in me. But that's actually not the way it is, okay? So like, for instance, if I say, you know, Jerry's like, I don't know, racist, okay? Does that mean I'm a racist? No, it doesn't, okay? People aren't reflecting back what you need to fix in you. You're perfect, okay? So that's the first misunderstanding that I hear with everyone is you pushed out, thinking that, you know, people that have, you know, if somebody else says, oh, well, you know what, I never get, you know, straight A's on my test, then all of a sudden they're making that mean that it's their block. Okay, that's not true, okay? Because you're perfect, and what everyone is you pushed out means is that you actually create people with your assumptions and your beliefs of them, okay? So now, where you really want to get a good understanding of everyone as you pushed out is in Neville's book, Prayer, the Art of Believing. Chapter 5, Thought Transmission. Amazing, amazing chapter. So I'm going to explain how everyone as you pushed out works, okay? So what it says is that basically your consciousness, okay, so your thoughts, okay, is the light reflected on the mirror of your mind and projected in space to the one of whom you think. So by mentally speaking to the person, okay, in your mind, you cause the mirror of your mind to vibrate. Now, that vibrating light modifies the light of consciousness reflected on it. That modified light of consciousness reaches the one of whom it's directed to and impinges on the mirror of their mind, causing their mind to vibrate according to the modification it undergoes, thus reproducing in him which was mentally affirmed by you. Okay? So I sit here and I say, I intend for Jerry to text me. I intend for Jerry to text me. I say that in my head. My brain vibrates that. It pings it over to him. He's like, oh, I should call Amanda. Okay? That's everyone as you pushed out. I think, oh, maybe Jerry's mad at me. Jerry's like, I think I'm mad at Amanda. Okay? So that's how everyone is you pushed out. So in relation to a relationship, okay? So basically, right, if you want to find out what your blocks are to getting in a relationship with somebody, the person will tell you. Because for instance, let's say that I create, and I have this thought that Jerry has baggage from a previous relationship and he doesn't want to be in another committed relationship. Well, that thought, okay, that story about Jerry vibrates in my mind, pings over to him, and he says, I have baggage. I never want to be in another relationship. Okay, now I say, well, Jerry, why don't you want to be in a committed relationship with me? Because I have baggage. So now all of a sudden, if we go to the end of, no, you know what, Jerry is absolutely, you know, a level-headed teddy bear. He's, you know, got his life together. You know, he's very emotionally intelligent and he's over the past. Of course he wants to get back into another relationship. Then he's going to start thinking that as soon as we change that, you know, that story in our minds to that, then he automatically will change to that. So that's how everyone is you pushed out works, right? So Neville continues to say in here, to change a man or a Jerry, okay, you must first change your conception of him in here, okay? You must first believe him to be the teddy bear you want him to be and mentally talk to him as if he were already that, Okay. So, you know, basically, right, to change and recreate Jerry with everyone as you pushed out, you know, you want to start, you know, instead of having that conversation in your head, you know, he's always late and you're like, you know, worried because it's half an hour, he should be here, he's probably going to be late. Oh no, now I'm going to be late. And going down that mental conversation, you know what I'm saying? You want to, that's living from the end of, you know, Jerry being late. Now, if you want Jerry to be on time and to change that about him, you got to start having that mental conversation like, oh, Jerry's always on time. Of course he always shows up on time because he respects my time, da 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 da, and have that mental conversation with about him in your head, and then he shows up. Now, the one thing is, right, is we've got to change what we see them as before they're going to change. Yeah, so that is the basis of everyone is you pushed out. Now, there are a few other points that I want to touch on in this video. Now, I've heard it said that basically it's only 80% of the time it works. That is not correct. The only time that your intentions can be rejected is if you think they're going to be rejected because you're the cause of it. So you create whether your intentions are going to work and not work. And that's actually one of the most common blocks that we'll see is that people will actually give people free will in their reality. But that's something that you've intended and you've given them. They've never had free will in your reality to begin with. Everyone as you pushed out has always been in play your whole entire life. It's the way it works. It's, you know, the law of attraction, right? So basically, right, it says here with that in Neville, so it says that all men are sufficiently sensitive to reproduce your beliefs of them. So you can do it with everybody. Nobody can reject it or anything like that. Therefore, if your word is not reproduced visibly in him towards whom it is sent, the cause is to be found in you, not the subject. Okay. Yeah. So basically, everyone can be transformed. Every thought can be transmitted. Okay. It's not 80-20. It's 100% of the time. And you even create when it doesn't work. You create if somebody can reject your intention. So don't create that. Why create that? Why create that? Right? So yeah. Now, the other thing that I want to touch on is sometimes we'll do an intention and the person will revert back to the old state. Okay. We have to keep persistently assuming the new state, the new intentions that we want to put out there. We have to keep persistently assuming who they are. So, okay, let's use Jerry's example. Okay. So let's say Jerry's late, but then I start intending that he's on time. So then Jerry starts showing up on time once, but then he may revert back to being late. All I need to do is to recreate the intention that he's going to be on time, pardon me, and then persist with it. And even if he reverts back to being late, just keep persisting. And then eventually it'll stick to the new state. Okay. So basically it just depends on what the whole entire story is, because when you start shifting more and more of the story, the more likely he's going to stay in the new state. Because as soon as you revert back to the old state with any one of your thoughts, he's going to revert back to the old state. Okay. So it may not even just be, you know, the thought that Jerry's late. It might actually just be the feeling of the disappointment about him being late, but not an actual thought. That'll be enough to revert him back into the old state. Okay. So you've got to talk yourself out of that as well. So it takes shifting generally a lot of the story, you know, at least 80-90% of the story into the new story for Jerry to stay in that new state. Okay. I intend that made sense. Anyways, guys, that's my video for today. I intend that everybody got a better understanding on how everyone is you pushed out. And thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And Jerry says, bye-bye.